Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. This is the paid request. This time for Rapper Kirby 3K. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Links are in the info box, which is either over there or over there, whichever it is this week on YouTube. But you wanted me to take a look at the Avengers, the 1998 film, and sorry about the background noise. I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's roosters and all sorts of stuff everywhere, so bear with me. Maybe they're mad about this film. I don't know why they didn't have to watch it. This is a pretty bad film. It's the Avengers from 1998. Just a 3.8 out of 10 IMDb. I think it deserves that. It stars Ray Fiennes. This is after he got accolades for films like The English Patient. Uma Thurman, who years prior was in Pulp Fiction. But man, she was in Batman and Robin and this, and I think this hurt her career for a while. At least until Kill Bill Volume 1. But yeah, for a while, you didn't see, like, she did work, but not a lot of whole high profile stuff. Sean Connery, sadly, one of the, I guess that, the last film he did was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. At least that was prominent. But it seems like films like this is what ultimately led to his retirement, years later. And the direction is the guy who did National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is a weird choice, but from what I understand, because there is a podcast interview with the director on, the writer, I should say, the original writer on YouTube, but it was like 3 hours long, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched snippets of it. And apparently the writer said that his script was more of a serious, darker script, and that there were people like Alex Proyas and even David Fincher wanted to do it. But then things didn't work out. And then the studio, for some reason, wanted a film that was more comedy. I don't know the reasons why. That writer said it was because of the Matrix was going to come out, and they didn't want to make a film like that, which I'm like, well, that film was in 99, this comes out in 98. I don't know. So I don't know if the guy's just trying to get stuff out of his head, making stuff up, trying to reason it, and can't quite do it, so trying to grasp at straws. I don't know. Now, I never saw the 60s TV show this is based on. Well, that's the thing. Why would you take $60 or so million and make a movie based on a British TV show that most people in America have either never seen, don't know, and have no nostalgia or no personal take on it? I'm sure there are a few people that knew of the show, but not as much as they think. When this came out, I didn't know anything about the show. I had never seen the show. I still haven't seen the show. So it was just a weird choice to make for a big budget studio American movie based on this show from the 60s that I don't think is as well known as they think it was. Maybe they felt, hey, there are movies being made on TV shows, Mission Impossible being one of them in 96, and that was successful. So let's make a movie that's kind of a spy type of thing, that's based on a TV show. Oh, we'll take the Avengers. Why not? And not only that, but then you have a movie where, for what I understand, some say the original cut was 140 minutes. That's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Some say it was 115 minutes, which would be an hour and 55 minutes. Instead, you get an 89-minute movie. That's an hour and 29 minutes. So a 2 hour and 20-minute movie, or almost 2 hour movie, becomes a movie that's less than an hour and a half. That means a lot of stuff was cut out, and that means a lot of stuff does not make sense in this movie. I forget who it was, but they had the best take on it. This is like a Cliff Notes version of a movie. Take a movie, but only use the Cliff Notes. There you go. Because there are scenes that just end, and then we're in another location, we're in like another plot, we're in another, and like, how did we get from here to here? It's like, here's A and D, where's B and C? If every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the B and C is taken out, A to D, then A to D, then A to D, then A to D, you know. Or it's like A to D, then D to H, then H to L, then L to Q. I mean, all this stuff is missing in the middle, so they're like, well, how does this make sense? And how, what the hell? What's going on here? It's just very awkward editing. Even stuff that was in the trailer, they cut out. Like, you know, okay, if you watch the trailer, there's a bit with Uma Thurman talks with a guy on the stairs, and she flips him. That's not in the movie. And you guys seem like going, why was this or that taken out? It just doesn't make sense. And not only that, but Ray Fiennes and Uma Thurman, they don't have much chemistry with each other. At least I didn't think they had much chemistry with each other. Sean Connery, I liked, but he's hamming it up. That's part of the reason, though, I like it. I'm a big Sean Connery fan. Outland is my favorite Sean Connery film, but I love him in the James Bond films. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The Rock. Even films like Entrapment I can watch because of Sean Connery. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I don't hate. I think I liked it a bit more than when I saw it in the theaters in 2003 or so. I probably liked it a little bit. Like, I could watch it now. I don't think it's the worst film ever. It has a lot of flaws, but it's not the worst film ever. At least to me. But yeah, it does have a lot of flaws. It's not underrated. Don't get me wrong, it's not underrated. It's not a gem of a film, but I thought I could watch as a time waster. And again, because of I'm a big Sean Connery fan. And even this, while he's hamming it up, it's like Sean said, I get to play a James Bond villain. You know, I was James Bond fighting these guys. Now I get to be the James Bond villain. I think maybe that was his approach. If that's the case, then that was fun to see. It's over the top. He's hamming it up, but it's fun for me as a fan to see him just have fun with a role. With the stares and just like just smirk on his face. But he seemed like the only one having fun. Ray Fiennes was droll and dry, as I'm sure it's supposed to be. Uma Thurman, you know, pretty cold, which I'm sure was the point of the character. From what I understand, I guess on the show, they weren't really lovers, but then here they made the characters lovers because they kiss, and fans got mad at that. Kind of like the Moonlighting or X-Files. They may have chemistry or intensity, but don't have them kiss. Because when you do, that's when things go downhill. But the movie just has no natural flow. It kind of like, scene stops, scene stops, scene stops. I'm like, you could tell a lot of stuff is missing from this. Because it'll go from like Ray Fiennes fighting random folks, and you find out it's a training session. Then you cut to Uma Thurman being called in, and someone's complaining to her about, you can't come in here. Yes, I can. You can't come in here. And you just see the abrupt cut where he's like talking with her on the stairs. She stares at him. And almost like the sound or something else, like you could tell there's an abrupt cut. And there is, like, she flipped the guy. Like, I guess they thought that was too much or too, I don't know. And then you have this hazy plot where there's a clone of Uma Thurman's character. And then later, much later in the story, you find out, oh, there's an experiment where they could do stuff including cloning. I'm like, that seems like a pretty important aspect to the story. And it kind of just, oh yeah, there's cloning. Yeah, they cloned. And apparently they cut stuff like a big scene with Uma Thurman going in and destroying this facility, which they cut out, and they just put like this rough quality footage. And even though they think Uma Thurman did this, they let her work with Ray Fiennes to find out what's going on with this weather satellite contraption thing. I'm like, oh, so you think she's the bad guy, the villain? You see this footage of her, yet you're still going to let her be part of this project and work? That doesn't make sense. Then, like, oh, it cuts to Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes playfully sword fighting with each other. Now, is there actual, like, character development between the two where they get to know each other a bit, or they size each other up a bit, or no, it's just either a one-liner that doesn't work or another pun that doesn't work and it's not funny, and then like maybe a sword fight, then we move on to Sean Connery playing the organ. Then Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes get to the compound. Then Uma meets Sean Connery. Then for some reason Ray Fiennes is in this other area. I'm like, where the hell is he? Then there's a phone booth. Why is there a phone booth there? Did Doctor Who get there? It says Doctor Who crossover. All of a sudden there's wind and he gets in. Did Sean Connery know? Okay, now he says in dialogue that he knows someone's out there. But when you... Oh, Sean Connery knows there's someone out there. Security camera, footage. He's told by someone. No, we don't have any of that. Connective tissue. It's... psychically he knew someone was there. And did he tell anybody that no? Just all of a sudden there's wind. And then Ray Fiennes gets in the phone booth. Cuts to Sean Connery, Uma Thurman. Cuts to Ray Fiennes. Gets out, and all of a sudden there's snow. It was wind, but now there's snow on the ground. Then there's the Uma Thurman clone who shoots him. But he had a bulletproof vest. Then all of a sudden we cut to he's in the real Uma Thurman's bed, like place on her couch or whatever. I'm like, so wait a minute. When did Uma Thurman know this happened, and how did she know Ray Fiennes was exactly there in that spot? How did she know to get outside and know where he was at in that spot, and then get over there and then carry him all the way to back in the car, I guess? And then like, where's the connective tissue of all this? It just felt like this was cut to ribbons, which it was. There's no flow to it. And also, this scene here, man. I've seen this scene before on YouTube, but I thought that the movie would explain why. There's a scene where Sean Connery's in a board meeting with just the various scientists that worked on this thing to control the weather. He's going to control the weather and ransom it. Which sounds like a Dr. Evil plot. Which I'm thinking, like, is that why they try to make it a comedy? But Austin Powers was 97? So, did they want to make, like, an Austin Powers type of movie? But then at the same time, I don't know when they were making it. And Austin Powers, made a little bit of money, but wasn't... I think it was not really until VideoWare it became more prominent. So maybe not. I don't know. Anyway... Everybody's in Care Bear outfits. Sean Connery is in a black Care Bear outfit. He takes it off, and he's looking down, and there's people in red, and orange, and... Why? I know he says, I don't want you to know who the other person is, but is a Care Bear outfit the best option? I have to wonder what Sean Connery was thinking during this scene. I would love to have asked him, Sean, I don't know, what the fuck were you thinking when that scene came up and you have to wear this fucking suit and you see a bunch of people in Care Bear outfits staring at you? He must have been thinking, I used to be James Bond. I walked away from doing those roles. Now I'm here looking at a bunch of Care Bears staring at me. This is like so stupid and so dumb and so ridiculous. And I'm sitting there going, there is no explanation other than I don't want you to know who the other guy looks like. But at the same time, like, why does it have to be Care Bear outfits? Furries. I guess, hey, it's a furry convention. There you go. I wonder how the furries look at this scene. If anyone out there, you're a fan of mine, you're a furry, number one, that's fine. I'm not going to judge. Two, if you wear those fursuits, that's fine. I'm not going to judge. Number three, please write in the comments how you feel about this. Is this stupid as well, or weird, or dumb, or no explanation, or what the fuck? Or were you sad because then later on Ray finds them, and then they threw all these suits away as, oh, we're throwing away a perfectly good fursuit. Why are they in fursuits? Why do they look like Care Bears? Why? 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 What the fuck? That's what I mean, like, you watch this and going, nobody on set sees how stupid this looks. Not the director, not the producers. Nobody sees how stupid this looks. How dumb this looks. And then it just seems like we just go into random scenes where Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes somehow get in, and then security is so top notch, but the one lady leaves them. They walk like 2 feet, they open up these doors, and they find the 2 dead bodies there. Because Sean Connery killed 2 of the Care Bears. Maybe they didn't have enough heart and whatever the hell. Enough rainbow sprout on them. Killed 2 of them, left the bodies there, and again, such top-notch security that the one person just leaves, and yeah, you just walk into the room and sure, just find the 2 dead bodies. Sure, why not? And then they walk out, they see Care Bears entering elevators, and they see a bunch of them throwing them in the suits of garbage. Ray Fiennes has a little fight. One of them is Eddie Izzard. Yes, Eddie Izzard is in the film. And again, this is so lazy because they drive away, or Eddie, and they leave like a giant map on the ground. I don't even know how it got there. Just like underneath, like right by the back tire, it looks like. How did the map even get there? It's like a map about as big as this. He's about as big as this, the map. Just lying there. And like takes Ray Fiennes like a full minute, which I'm like, I'm gravitating towards that in the first 2 seconds. What is this? And then why it takes them so long to look at this map and deal with it, I don't know. Instead, at one point, the Ray and Uma deal with robo-bugs. They're chased by robot bugs, which just made me think of Richie Rich, Robo-Bee, which Richie Rich was a better movie than this. So they looked about as realistic as the Robo-Bee and Richie Rich, which hell, that worked better as a comedy than this film did. That's the thing, as a comedy, it's not funny. It's just stupid. Then at one point there's this woman that works for their bosses with a Tommy gun that shoots one of the bad guys, helps our two leads out. They enter this maze where Ray has a little bit of a fight with Sean Connery, but not really. Time enough for Uma Thurman to get captured. Then the fake Uma Thurman punches Ray Fiennes out, but doesn't kill him. Why she doesn't kill him? Why she doesn't shoot him in the head? Anything? I don't know. She just punches him and leaves him there. Again, why did you not take him with you? Capture him? Kill him? I don't know. It doesn't explain it. And that I don't think is because of stuff they cut out. It's just poor writing. Which I don't know if there was that writer, because as I've done this more and more, I realized that many scripts get rewritten, and even on set, they rewrite stuff, they add stuff, they change stuff. So the writer that's on the credits might not have written the stuff you think is stupid. If that writer ever sees this, please, do you know why they did the Care Bear thing and some of this other stuff? Part of me wants to do that, wants to find people who works on these movies. Let's do a stream. Let's talk about this stuff. Let me ask these questions. Patrick Macnee, who was in the original show The Avengers, I remember more from Wadsworth and Wadsworth 2 Lost in Time. He has an appearance in this as the voice of this invisible man, because there's invisibility in this. He's an invisible agent who pretty much tells Ray Fiennes what was on that map, and there was these experiments happening. Until ultimately he goes after to help save Uma Thurman. Uma gets herself out. Then at one point, long story short, you get to this hot air balloon where the two Umas fight, and it's a lame fight because it's a clone. You can't have two on the same frame because it's the same person playing two people. So then it has to be a very clunky, terribly edited fight because you can't show their faces because it's a clone fighting, it's the same person fighting themselves. So you can't even get much of a juxtaposition of the fight. The real Uma Thurman gets out. The fake Uma Thurman and this other person crash their hot air balloon. Uma and Ray Fiennes get back together. Then it cuts to them walking on the water in these giant bubbles. Where they get the bubbles, I don't know. It's a trailer shot, which it was using the trailers, but all of a sudden they're in these bubbles. How you get in the bubbles? How does that even work? I don't even know how that works to get into the bubble. I don't even know how that works, where they came from, where they got them, but they did, especially in this nick of time. Uma Thurman fights Eddie Izzard, and I guess it was rated PG, but they needed PG-13, so they obviously dub him saying the F word as he dies. Ray Fiennes fights Sean Connery, which you tell some of this fight was cut down because at one point Ray Fiennes' shirt is cut up with like a little bit of blood, like he got sword cuts from the sword, but you don't see it. It's just they're fighting, but then you see, like, where did that come from? And then Sean Connery, his death, not only does he get stabbed, not only does he get lightning hit, but then he gets pulled into like a tornado, so it's a trifecta. Everything's fine. Let's go have some tea, because it's British. British must have the tea. How about British, like, screw the tea. Give me some mellow yellow. Just because they're British doesn't mean they need tea. This film sucks. the pacing, the plot is so damn scattershot because so much of it was cut out. So you don't really get any comprehension as to how the story got from year to year to year. So much of it doesn't make sense. This clone thing that seemed to not be a prominent detail, kind of just thrown in there among all this other stuff. Why were they dressed up as Care Bears? All this. The characters became very dull, very lame one-liners, no chemistry between the two. The action scenes, the fight scenes, kind of lackluster. The action scenes, there's a hot air balloon explosion that's decent. The fight with the robo-bugs, I mean, CGI robo-bugs. I mean, how else? How can you make that an exciting scene? That'd be very tough to do so. To me, it was a bad idea to start with. The fight scene between Sean Connery and Ray Fiennes, like I said, you could tell a chunk of it was cut out, so there's not much of a flow to it. Sean Connery is having fun hamming it up, but he is hamming it up. Ray Fiennes, I think he did what he was told to be dry and droll, but it's just, I didn't find the two lead characters that intriguing to maybe go, oh, this is why people like these characters on the show. I'm sure that no, don't watch the show. But okay, I don't know. If you're a big fan of the show, please feel free to educate me. What is it that makes these characters interesting that they did not showcase in the movie? And special effects didn't look all that special. The special effects at times look pretty lackluster, pretty bad. Some of the lightning effects and, like I said, the robo-bug stuff, and some points where they're controlling the weather. The side characters, like you have the guy who's called Mother, and you have the girl that's called Father. Ha ha ha. Because it's a guy, but he's called Mother. It's a girl, but she's called Father. Ha 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 ha. Those didn't really seem that interesting of characters. Just very dry and meh. There's not much to this film worthy of merit. 3.8, I definitely did it. Definitely did. Fairly bad film. Thankfully it's short. Guess there's that. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.